Hello guys, and welcome back to another video, which will be taking a deep dive into what happens if there was no animus magic. This means no spells across the whole of Pyria. We have to start with the Ice Wings. Without animus power, none of the Ice Wings will be able to give their gifts to anyone else. The outer villagers will have no food to eat since Carabao wasn't there to make her gift. This will also mean that the Nightwings and Ice Wings will have a very strong alliance, since Flowslayer and Arctic couldn't escape the Ice Kingdom without animus power. This also means that the Royal Massacre will never happen, and Fathom will be able to stay in the Sea Kingdom and have children with Indigo. This also means that the royal lineage will not change in the Sea Wings, because Fathom and Indigo still have dragonets. Without Flowslayer and Arctic escaping, Darkstalker would never exist, so this also means that Clearsight will never journey to Pantala, and will stay in Pyria for as long as she lives. With Clearsight not venturing to Pantala, that means the Hivewing tribe will never exist, and Clearsight will never meet Sunstream. Without this, all of Arc 3 is also a lie. And without Clearsight going to Pantala, the Leafwings and the Beetlewings will coexist peacefully. Would not get any trouble with queens of other tribes or all that Arc 3 nonsense. Clearsight will still probably end up as the Queen's greatest seer, whether she has Darkstalker or not. This also means that the Icewings will never attack since they are still allied with the Nightwings. Who knows what those two tribes might do together? They might take over the whole of Pyria one day. Anyway, let's get back to a year before present time and take a look at what would have happened in Arc 1. Arc 1 would have relatively been the same. Just Anemone wouldn't have powers, so Whirlpool will still be alive. No! This also means that Coral will still have all of her daughters, since Orca's statue couldn't kill it, and Orca will still be alive since she knew that her plan wouldn't work. Actually, she wouldn't know her plan anyway. So Coral and her 20 daughters and 70,556 sons will set off across the Summer Palace and leave no one there beside royalty since she has so many children. Just kidding. I'm pretty sure Coral won't have more than 10 daughters. 10 daughters, that's 10 dragons to challenge her for the throne. So with that new knowledge, Queen Coral will have 10 alive daughters and about 20 alive sons, instead of 3 alive daughters and 29 alive sons. This also means that Turtle won't exist. Well, we don't know, because an enemy was 1 when he was 4, because we know that because of the Animus challenge on the beach. But that will never happen, actually. I'm not sure how many brothers of his will be alive at that time. But all we can say is Turtle doesn't have an 100% chance of being alive. Turtle will still not have Animus powers anyway, if Turtle is alive. Anyway, next time in Arc 1, Animus powers affect anything is in Book 4, where Starflight finds a dream visitor hidden in the treasure room of the old Nightwing fortress that was destroyed. Now, as you know, Animus power no longer exists, which means Darkstalker wouldn't exist, which means Darkstalker could never make the dream visitors, so the dream visitors would never exist. Also, the dream visitors were made by animus magic, which also doesn't exist. So anyway, Starflight would never be able to contact Glory, which means Tsunami would probably be captured by the Nightwings. Now with that said, Glory and her army of magical death spit dragons with sleeping darts will still come along and save them, probably. Anyway, after Glory becomes the queen of the Nightwings, Sunny gets kidnapped, and the Nightwings that kidnapped him have the Obsidian Mirror, which is an animus-touched object. Now, without the Obsidian Mirror, Sunny will never truly believe or know what her friends think about her. She will still escape from the kidnapping and follow them, but she will never have the chance to steal the Obsidian Mirror. which means Cobra won't find the obsidian mirror in Arc 2. It also means that the Nightwings won't think the Darkstalker's chasing them. That doesn't really do much to the plot of the story. Sunny will still follow them to the Scorpion Den and meet her mother, and then get given to Burn after that. After Smolder puts her in the Weirdling Tower, Scarlet will rip up that Nightwing and find, drumroll please, absolutely nothing, which will affect the plot later in Arc 2. Anyway, the plot will be the exact same until the final pages of Book 5, where the Eye of Onyx is introduced. The Eye of Onyx is an animus-touched object which chooses the better queens out of the two queens fighting, and it is also the reason that Blister dies. So, Blister kills Burn with the Dragonbite Viper. Then, Blister goes to challenge Blaze. Blister wins. But then, the Dragonettes of Destiny speak up. We've had enough. We don't want Blister as queen. This dude's like evil and stuff. And then the whole Sandwing army is like, yeah, let's kill Blister. And then it's like a 40v1 against Blister. And eventually Blister gets killed. And then Sunny has no other person to give the crown to except for, who knows it, Thorn. Now let's see what happens in Arc 2. At the start of Arc 2, Moon never hears this weird voice, which turns out to be Darkstalker, since Darkstalker never existed. Without Darkstalker's knowledge, Moon would still be very wacky, because she wouldn't know the raindrop trick. This also means that Moon would have all her choices to herself and never have to think about Darkstalker's spell, which means on the night of Book 8, at the very end, she would have never escaped with Darkstalker's scroll. With Scarlet having no dream visitor, Winter and his friends, definitely friends, would never set off to find Icicle because Icicle never needed the school in the first place. Book 8 plays out the exact same, except Turtle and Peril don't need to take a quick detour to Possibility to see where her friends are, because her friends aren't actually there anymore. Then, Chameleon will stay out of Peril's way because they have no spell to fix Peril, fix in Scarlet's favour Peril, because Scarlet knows that she can't convince Peril to change her ways. Peril is too connected with Clay to change what she does. Book 9 and 10 is probably about Moon's friend group finding Scarlet and somehow beating Scarlet. Don't know how, just like Sunny's plan. That was really stupid, Sunny's plan. But it works, so I can't argue with it. Then it will wrap it all up, and that would be to his last book, since there's nothing to do with Arc 3. Except, maybe Book 16 is coming out soon, and Arc 3 would then change to what Book 16's arc's going to become about. Anyway, thanks for watching, and please consider liking and subscribing. Bye.